you don't have quite as much material on each test. Right?
Correct.
Okay. So we're also going to get our quizzes back, but first we're going to get through this first Prequest. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get done here. Number one, if this is M and this is N, I need everybody paying attention, or we'll skip this and go straight to polar coordinates. Polar coordinates are fun, but we probably should review for your welfare. So we've got these 2 points, and we're going to find the coordinates of vector MN. Oh my goodness. Believe it or not, some of you missed this on yesterday's quiz. I'm going to give them back and we're going to see what happened. But remember, we're just talking about moving from M to N. How many steps is that? 3 and -1. That's it. Done. Problem 1. Finished. Got it? Ruben? Okay. Now, we've got a whole bunch of different vector things, kind of looks like yesterday's quiz. A says V dot U. All right, so who remembers? How do we do a dot product?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yes, you should.
X times X times Y times Y.
X times X, Y times Y, and plus them. That's right, add them. So 1 times 3 plus -2 times 4. I got -5 if I did my arithmetic correctly. Right? Guys, you got to remember, dot product, X times X, Y times Y, add them up. All right, now we're doing 2V minus U. Well, what's 2V?
2, 4.
2, comma, -4. And we're going to subtract U. So we're going to have a calculator, so if we need to use a calculator to do this, we should. Hopefully we won't, but if you need to, do it. 2 minus 3. -4 minus 4. Here's your answer. That's all there is to it. What is C talking about? Gotta find the magnitude. To find the magnitude, you square, add them up, take the square root. Believe it or not, some of us missed that on yesterday's quiz. All right, so let's see. Square, add them up and take the square root. That's going to be 1 plus 4, root 5. V plus U. We're just adding them. So V plus U, how do we add them?
X's to Y.
X's added and Y's added. So X's added would be 4 and Y's added would be 2. Done. We were rolling through this. Now E. Not hard, but you got to do things in the right order. These absolute value signs mean magnitude, but you have to treat them like parentheses. You have to do everything inside first, and then we'll do magnitude. So we're going to have V, which is 1, -2, minus 3 U's. Now what would 3 U's be? 9, 12. So I am taking V minus 3 U's. So 1 minus 9. -2 minus 12.
-14.
Now that's not it. That's what's inside. And now we still have to magnitude it, which means we square them. Let's get our calculators out. Let's square them and add them together. Who's got a calculator? You're going to need it for some of these problems, guys. You're going to need it for problem 4, for example. You're going to need it for 5. You're going to need it for 8. You're going to need it for quite a few of these. So what did you get when you square 8 and square 14 and add them together? Don't put the negatives in. Just square them and add them up. What do you get?
4 plus 196.
Yep. square root of
260.
260.
So 2 root 65.
So yeah, we need to break that down, or at least try to break it down. So 260 is 26 times 10. That's 2 times 13 and 2 times 5. So whoever said 2 root 65 was exactly right. That's what it is. There's 2 2's in there. Pull out. There we go. And F is U minus V. Now, this is kind of mean of me. I did U minus V. So make sure you're doing them in the right order. U minus V. Okay? So here we go. 3 minus 1. I'm doing X minus X, Y minus Y. So 3 minus 1, and then 4 minus negative 2. Done. There we go. Section 1 or 2, problem 2 is finished. Are we all right with all that? I hope you're thinking easy. All right, number 3, find the components and magnitude. So this is a 2-part question, but both of them you know how to do. What are the components of AB? Components are coordinates. You're going from A to B. So what have you got? 6, 4. So the components of AB are 6, 4. Now we want the magnitude. So how do we find magnitude again? Square, square, add them up, square root. Here we go. What is it, the square root of? 52. Break it down. Let's see, that's 2 times 26, 2 times 2 times 13, so that's 2 root 13. Jake, you with us?
Yes.
All right, number 4 says do the same thing. Find the components of this vector. Only instead of giving you a starting point and an ending point, I do a picture. All right? So when you got a picture, and it says find the components. What do we mean by components? X, Y. So somehow out of this picture, this setup, I have to find an X and a Y. That's my answer. I do sine and cosine. Now, I got a little bit of a problem because if I'm going to do sine and cosine, I really need
180 minus 150.
that angle right there. I didn't give you that. I gave you this one. So that one would have to be what? 65. So I'll say cosine 65 equals x over 16, and sine 65 equals y over 16. Now, 2 things about this. Cosine, always x. Always. Always. Not just in chapter 6, not just in pre-calculus, always. Sine is y. Always. Now the second thing is, when you're doing sine and cosine, the thing you take the cosine of, like this says cosine 65, that has to be an angle. We take the cosine of angles. Some of you on the quiz, like in this problem, put 16 here. Okay. Don't do that again, okay? You're not the only one, but don't do that again. When we do sine of something, the something has to be an angle. Okay? So let me go to our calculator and we just type it in. And does it give me rounding instructions there? At the top of the quest, it does. It says round to the nearest hundredth. So here we go, 16 cosine 65. So I got 6.76. Remember, like you said, my answer is an ordered pair. So 6.76, I did cosine, that's x. Huh? Oh. Yep, 14.50. Yeah, I'm not done yet, but you're right. You're exactly right. When I look at my picture, and sometimes you might want to make a note of it right at the very beginning, but at some point, you got to pay attention to the fact that the picture you drew is not in quadrant 1. So then you got to figure out what's negative. Well, clearly in this situation, the x-coordinate is negative. Right? Some of you left your negatives off yesterday. All right, number 5. We're going to find the angle between these two vectors. So we did this yesterday and the day before. No, nope, no big slope here. We're going to find the slope when we have to decide if things are parallel or not. But no, not here. Here, what do? We want to find the angle between two vectors. Feel free to get a look at. Are you looking at your notes? No, you're cheating. You're looking at the answers.
Yeah, I want to see my notes.
I want you to look at your notes. I promise the answers will not be attached to the test. All right? So who's got a thought? Who can remember anything? There's 2 things you have to do.
I got it.
Jake says, when in doubt, find magnitude. He's right. I need the magnitude of V and the magnitude of U. I multiplied them. So the magnitude of V would be 4 plus 16, that's root 20. And because that is not going in an answer blank, it's not like these other problems where this was an actual answer. When it's an actual answer, I want you to simplify it. If you simplify here, it's okay. It just makes your work harder down the road. So just leave it root 20.
Because don't you have to like divide by when you think of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is going to be 1 plus 25. So it's going to be root 26. These two have to be combined. They're going to be multiplied together. So you're going to have root 520. So the magnitudes.
Was this on the quiz?
Yes.
No,
it wasn't.
This was not on the quiz. This was in our notes, though. We practiced it. This was in 6.2, and our quiz was only over 6.1.
I think I did this. Maybe.
On the quiz?
I think so.
Okay, well, we'll find out when I give it back.
Yeah.
If you did, I probably looked at your paper and said, what is he doing? Anyway, root 520. What's the other thing that has to be done before we can find the angle?
You put it over 2-4?
No.
Simplify it?
No. We got to find the dot product. We got to find the dot product of these two vectors. So the dot product would be negative 2 plus 20, 18. And then the cosine of your answer, remember you're looking for an angle. The cosine of that
18
angle
over
is 18 over the square root of 520.
So then be second cosine?
So then I second cosine 18 over root 520, and that is what theta equals. So to find the angle between two vectors, it's always going to be a second cosine. To find the angle between two vectors, it's always going to be a second cosine. The number that you second cosine is the dot product over the magnitudes multiplied by each other. So this is going to be second cosine 18 divided by the square root of 520. 37.87. 37.87 degrees. What? That's the answer. all that, you have to do all this work though. You have to do the magnitude part, you have to do that product part, and then you second cosine to get the answer. Kia? X times X, Y times Y, add them up. Kia? Is your hand up? No?
No.
Okay. Alright, number 6. Remove the parameter and write one equation. Alright, remove the parameter and write one equation. Okay, remove the parameter. T is the parameter. So we will get T by itself, probably in the first equation is easier. So X minus 2 equals T, right? And then we'll take this and substitute it in right here. So Y equals 3 minus 2 times X minus 2. Everybody keeping up here?
Yep.
So 3 minus 2x plus 4. I'm going to be real careful on my distribution. And I have negative 2x plus 7. And that's all you have to do. It says remove the parameter and write one equation. Right there it is. So you started with 2, but you put them together and got 1.
So it's like substitution.
Yep. It's exactly what it's like, substitution. Now, number 7 says, okay, write the parametric equations. Now, these guys here that we started with, these were the parametric equations. So now, your goal in number 7, your goal is to come up with an x equals equation and a y equals equation to describe the line through these 2 points. Now, guys, it's a line. So what did we say yesterday? If we're finding the equation of a line, what do we need? Slope. So step 1 is we're going to find the slope. So our slope, 5 minus 2, 3 minus 1. Did you get 3 halves? Right?
Yeah.
And then what's the other piece of it? Not only we need to add our slope, and then what else do we need? A point. So I don't care. Let's use this one just because they're smaller numbers. Doesn't matter. Pick a point. And here is the tricky part. The framework. The general, I hate to call it formula, but it's kind of like a formula. The thing you're going to set up is your xy equals, then you have 1 parentheses plus t times another parentheses. Remember that from yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got to remember, we're going to plug some stuff into those parentheses. We got to remember what goes where.
1, 2 goes in the
Here goes the point you picked. So in our case, it was 1, 2. It could also have been 3, 5. What goes in this parenthesis?
2, 3.
The slope, and we remember that slope is y over x. So the y is 3 and the x is 2. Now, you're not done. Your goal is to come up with the 2 separate equations. But look, you have it set up so you can tell everything in the front is an x. So x equals 1 plus
2t.
2t. So x equals 1 plus 2t. Y equals 2 plus 3t. And those are the answers. So that's the answer to that question. Those are your parametric equations. Okay? All right, number 8. We're going to find find the components of the velocity vector for an airplane flying at a speed of 362 miles an hour on a course of 128. Okay, we just got to be tuned in, folks.
Quadrant 2.
This is a course. And when it's navigation, the labels are different. So the minute you got an airplane flying, a ship sailing, a submarine, whatever they do, you've got to think about the compass. Okay? So 128, Brittany says, is in quadrant 4. I believe she's right. This angle is 128 degrees. Don't look at me blankly. 128 is between 90 and 180. Doesn't matter where you put it, but put it in that quadrant somewhere. Now, find the components. We already did something like this. That means find X and Y. So again, if I build my butterfly bow tie,
That's gonna be 180 minus, right?
here is my X and here is my Y, right? Now, yeah, and Y is going to be negative, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that right now before I start. I know that's going to be my kind of answer. It's going to be an ordered pair, X comma Y. And in order, I know I'm going to be using sine and cosine, right? And in order to do sine and cosine, I need an angle. And the angle I need is this one right here. Gang, this is the only angle we care about. It is inside the triangle.
38.
I gotta figure out what that is. David or somebody back there said it's 38. He's right. How did he figure that out?
128 minus 90.
Exactly. Use your common sense. How far is it from here to here?
90.
90. How much more than 90 did we go to get to 128? 38. Right? Now, somebody else will say, Mrs. Gordon, why are we using 90, blah, blah, blah. This is a different setup than normal, right? Normally we would never use 90, but we're on a compass now, so I have to. That's my measurement for that axis. All right, so here we go. Cosine 38 equals X over, uh-oh, I didn't label that. What's that?
The magnitude.
That's the magnitude, which is 362. Remember, your speed is your magnitude. Your speed is your magnitude. So cosine 38 equals X over 362. And sine 38 equals Y over 362. So then I'll get out my handy dandy calculator. 362 cosine 38. 285.26. Yeah. And 362 sine 38. 222.87. And I already marked that negative earlier because you picked up on that right away. That the quadrant in which I was sitting would require a negative Y. What?
What's Y? Is that 2 or 7?
That's negative 222.87. All right, number 9 was a quiz question. 9 was a quiz question. You have to know how to make a vector into a unit vector. So who remembers how to do this? How do we make a vector into a unit vector? It's real easy. Find the magnitude. So what would our magnitude be? The square root of 26, 25 plus 1. And then what do we do with that if we're making a unit vector? We just divide each one of those by root 26. So our unit vector will be 5 over root 26 and negative 1 over root 26. To make a vector a unit vector, you simply divide its coordinates by its magnitude.
That's what I did on the quiz.
Okay, well that would be right.
Yeah,
that's how you find it. That's how you find a unit vector. Okay? That's easy. You just have to remember what you're supposed to do. All right, 10. Find the magnitude and direction angle. All right, so here we go. I'm going to draw a little picture of this and to help myself see what's going on. Here's 4, negative 7. The magnitude is easy. Don't be missing the magnitude part. How do you find magnitude? Square, square, add them up and square root. So 16 plus 49, root 65, that's your magnitude. Is that number going in an answer blank? Yes. Look, the answer blank says magnitude. So if it simplifies, you need to do it. This one doesn't. But this, if you are writing your radical down as the answer, I need you to simplify it. Okay? That one doesn't. Now I need the direction angle. Alright, so I need to find this angle right here. How do I find any angle ever? I second something. So in this case, it would make the most sense to use tangent. Because right in front of you, you have opposite over adjacent. Now, if you want to use the root 65 and do something else, that's fine. But you always have x and y, so let's just use tangent. So second tangent, 7 over 4. Now, if you want to put the negative in, that's fine. Your answer will never be negative to this problem, though. So don't, even though it's going to give you a negative answer, don't write it down because your answer is not going to be negative. So she says 60.26. Now, on the quiz, some of you put down as your direction angle 60.26. No. That is the reference angle for sure. But the actual direction angle is this. Alright? So I want you, don't blurt out something ridiculous. Just think for a moment. Alright, I need to figure out how big that pink angle is. How am I going to figure out how big that pink angle is? I'm going to take 360 and minus that. So that'll be what? 259.74 degrees? 299. Oh, 299.74 degrees. Right? Yep. Where are we going to make a mistake there? We're going to forget to find the actual angle. We need to find the actual angle. All right, number 11. Are these vectors which are written under the line? Sorry about the confusion. So 3, 1, 3, 1, and negative 6, negative 2. Parallel, perpendicular, or neither, and why. So what are you going to do? Right off the bat, you're just going to find the slope of each. We remember slope is y over x. So the slope of this one is simply 1/3?
Another one's 1/3.
The slope of this one is -2/6, which is also 1/3. So you're going to say they're parallel. And when it says y, you're going to say because they have the same slope. They're parallel vectors because they have the same slope. Kia, are you paying attention? Gabby?
You have to say why neither.
Yes. So you would say they don't have the same slope and they don't have opposite reciprocal slopes. Those are the two things that they can have. And if they don't have either one of those, then... And finally, is AB, which is the vector that goes from 1, 3 to 4, 7, equal to CD, which is the vector that goes from 2, -1 to 5, 3.
Yep.
Are those equal?
Yep.
Why or why not? Well, he is over there saying, yeah, so let's find the coordinates of this one. He's going from 1 to 4 and from 3 to 7. All right? This guy's going from 2 to 5 and from -1 to 3.
Okay.
Are they equal?
Yep.
Why or why not?
They have the same.
They have the same coordinates. They have the same x and y. They have the same components, right? They either are going to match or they're not. So if they match, they're equal. If they don't match, if they match, they're equal. If they don't match, then they're not, right? Okay. All right, so we're going to go on. We're going to start in on the second practice quiz. But first, I want to turn back to your actual quiz. To those of you that are here today, these were 16 points. Wait, where's that going? Out of 16. Just set that before.
Where she had to call me to get me out? No, not here, but last year.
Maybe I need to
I really fell asleep. I just heard a lot of things about me, you know, you like never comprehend anything. And I opened my eyes and this was situated like that. Like, is that mine? Huh? That's mine. She's saying she's looking like right here. She's so close.
Look. As soon as I turned 18, we did a problem.
I do not understand how long it is not supposed to.
Oh no, what is one of those?
This would be good.
I'm going to add it on. Give my eyes on the
11.5, I got it. I have to take my eyes over 15 on that board. Can I take another quiz? This would be me the whole time.
I used to get CPR. That's why Dylan wanted that spot. And he just falls through. Get on it.
All right, so everybody that's here got one back, right? Everybody took it, I should say. All right, so let's talk about.
I got these right.
Let's talk about the ones you missed. All righty?
Which one?
You're in the grade book. No, you don't need to check. You have the paper in front of you.
I know, I want to see how if it decreased my grade.
This is your only grade at this point. It was your first grade. You're starting brand new. All right.
It's on the brand new?
Yeah.
It's on the last one? You said yes?
No, I said no. It is, we're gonna be out of school in what, 17 minutes?
I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So wait, you put that on third quarter or fourth quarter?
Now, listen. What I want to do right now is answer any quiz question that you have. So, who has a quiz question?
It's on the third quarter?
No, this is the fourth quarter.
I'm talking about the same fix.
This quiz is on your fourth quarter.
Right on. Right on. I need that grade. Right on. I thought you were just on.
No, your third quarter grades are done, but then sent in. They're finished.
Right on.
All right, so anybody have any question about the quiz you have and you missed something? Bailey, which quiz did you have? Quiz 1, which problem? 5. Problem 5. Let's look at problem 5. Now, all of you had the same problem 5, but you had different numbers. So I'm going to do the numbers for quiz 1, but the rest of you, you're going to do just what I'm doing, but you're going to use your numbers. Okay? So V plus 3U. Again, we're inside and have to do all that first. So V for U was 3 negative 4. And 3U for U was 15 6. 3 U's. Okay? Now we're going to add those, Bailey, so we're going to get 18 2. Now we're going to find the magnitude of that. And to find the magnitude, we square, I think it's 324, and we square, I need somebody to double check that for me. I'm using, is that right, 324? Okay, so then we've got 328. That is the answer. So we need to break it down if we can. So I can tell that 8 goes into there 41 times. I think. Yeah. And then 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So I have 2 2's. So I'll pull out a 2, and then I have an 82 left over. So there's the final answer. Anybody else? Any question? There was one perfect paper in this entire class.
Close. I got 15.
No, it was Brittany. KK missed one little thing somewhere.
That's what I do.
But she was close
I
otherwise.
got 15.
Can we do 7 again?
Which one?
7.
On which quiz?
3.
Quiz 3.
We just did one.
Number 7 says find the direction angle. Find the direction angle for the vector negative 1 7. Now I'm doing quiz 3. Your problem is just like this, but it's a different vector. So negative 1 7, I'm finding the direction angle. So negative 1 7 looks like that. I need to find this angle. Every time you're finding an angle, you're going to second something. Since I have an opposite and adjacent, I'm going to second tangent 7 over 1. I don't care if you put the negative in or not, it's not important to me. It doesn't matter. Put it in, if it confuses you, don't put it in, I don't care. So I second tangent 7.
Do you have to have 7 over 1 or can you just put 7?
7 is fine. And it's 81.87. So that angle right there is 81.87. That is not the direction angle. The direction angle is this.
180 minus.
So 180 minus that is 98.13. So your actual answer is for, this is quiz 3. This is not your answer if you have a different quiz. But for quiz 3, it's 98.13.
Wait, how do you do
Wait,
Okay.
if using quadrant 3, it'd be 180 plus?
Yep. All right, before I go to Shelley's other questions, is there anybody else? I'm going to give everybody a chance to ask questions. Anybody have another one? We're all good? Except
so
for,
quadrant 4 you add?
huh?
Will I be able to get my grade up?
Yes, dude.
From a single click.
First quarter.
Okay, Shelley, which one is it?
Okay, wait. So, still on 7. So, how Brittany just said, if it's quadrant 3, you add 180. So, if it's quadrant
Okay.
4.
Okay, I don't want you to memorize that because you'll mix it up and you'll mess it up. I want it to make sense to you. If you are doing a quadrant 3 angle, You always start here, no matter what. How far is it from here to here? And then you're going this much more, right? So if that angle is 40, let's just make that up and say it's 40. If you want to know what this angle is, you're going to go 180 and 40 more. It makes sense. All this trying to memorize is just going to lead you down a bad path.
Okay.
Just look at the picture and trace it with your pencil. Okay?
And then problem 8 on the third side.
All right, 8 on quiz 3, we're finding the components. When it says find the components, that means you're finding an X and a Y. So, for this picture, on this particular quiz, this is a 71, this is an 18, and we're finding the components. That means we are finding X and Y. So my butterfly bow tie, there we go. To find X and Y, I'm going to have to use sine and cosine.
Sine is always Y.
Exactly. So cosine 71 equals X over 18. Sine 71 equals Y over 18. So I'll go to my calculator. 18 cosine 71 is 5.86. 18 sine 71 is 17.02. And then I must stop myself and say, hey, I am not in quadrant 1. I'm in 3. And if I'm in 3, they're all negative, right? If I'm in quadrant 3. Right? Anything else from the quizzes?
Let's pray.
So whatever you missed, you got to figure it out. All right, let's take a look at practice quiz number 2.
Prayer.
All right, Brittany, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Prequest number 2. We're glad we had the opportunity to do another prequest.
Too much.
Nope.
Too much time.
Nope.
It's too much math.
Never too much.
Wait, so if you get an A in this class, then you want to take the final?
Right.
Even an A minus.
Ah,
Even an A minus.
let's go.
Semester. Got an A?
Is that for all classes?
No.
What? Why not all classes now?
Mr. Noel doesn't do that. So if you're an academic pre-cal.
What about the AP exams?
If you have AP classes, their exam is the exam.
So you don't have to take a final?
Usually no.
If you have an A class, you have to take AP.
No, you have to take the AP exam.
What are
No
these?
matter what, you have to take the AP exam. I don't know. Well, that's somebody else's question. Here we go. Here is an. Question number 1. Find MN. We cannot miss this.
No.
Gabby Bridges, Kia, Alice, what is going on over there?
That's a bad one.
I was just telling Alex like how important these classes are for me.
Gabby, what are the coordinates of MN? We're going from 4 to 2.
2 and then 4.
Okay, be careful. 4 to 2 is negative 2. And 3 to negative 1 is negative 4. Very good. We gotta have those signs in there or we're gonna miss it. This is prequest number 2, problem number 1. All right? Oh, wait, I looked at the wrong problem. I'm sorry, that's a 1. So how's that change? This is gonna be a negative 2? Is that better? I was looking at problem number 2, sorry. Okay? Everybody all right with that? Using the right question?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go with part 2. Let's see if we can get this done. V minus U. Now all you have to do is take V minus U. So 4 minus 2. 3 minus negative 1.
Yep.
Everybody okay with that?
So it's
V plus U. So 4 plus 2, 3 plus negative 1. Or 3 plus negative 1. Everybody all right with that? Oh, see now, these are the ones you have to do a little more work. What would 2v be? 2v. 8, 6. What would 3u
6,
be?
negative 3.
So we're subtracting 2v minus 3u. So here we go. 8 minus 6. 6 minus negative 3.
9.
Done. Oh, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
We need the magnitude.
4 plus 81.
So we do the square root of 4 plus 81, which is the square root of 85. That is an answer, but it doesn't break down. I think it's 5 times 17, so it doesn't break down. V dot U. The dot product of V and U. How do we do a dot product again? X times X, Y times Y, add them up. So V and U, X times X is 8. U times U, or Y times Y is negative 3. I got 5. The dot product is 5.
5.
X times X, Y times Y, yeah, that's right, 5. V plus 4U. Quit watching the clock.
We all are.
Yeah, 5. We're trying to squeeze in after our brains are full.
Your brain is endless, Kia. It never fills up.
I told you fit your brain size. You're pretty sure.
V is 4 comma 3.
That's your part of it.
What is 4U? 8, negative 4. Now we're going to add those.
12.
So our answer is 12.
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
We got time for one more.
The magnitude of U. Okay, what is the magnitude of U? I know it's a square root. 4 plus 1. So it's the square root of 5. Oh, we're not done. We're trying to finish this page. So we're going to find the components and magnitude of A, B.
What is the component of -1?
Components are X comma Y. We're going from 3 to 4. No, 3 to 4.
1.
That would be 1. And 1 to 7, 6. So there are the components. So everybody understands that on the test, this is what goes in the COMP blank. And then the magnitude of that
Is that the square root thing?
is the square root of 37. Which again doesn't break down, so we're just going to stop right there. All right, one more. I promise when we're done number 4, I'll be quiet. All right, so number 4. Find the components. Now, components means X and Y. Somebody has already said they're both negative. At some point, please pay attention to that. Okay? Now, I need X and Y, so I'm going to need my triangle. And if I'm going to be doing sine and cosine, I need an angle. This one right here. Now, nobody say a word.
I know.
I want you to think about this. You're going from here all the way to here. Now, you already know that this is 180. You're going all the way to 207 though. So how much past 180 do you have to go? 27.
27.
So cosine 27 equals x over 10. Sine 27 equals y over 10. We can type those in on our calculator. So 10 cosine 47, or 27. 8.91. 10 sine 27. Negative 4.54. And I promised I'd stop, so I will.
Good afternoon. If you come to the end of this, you have to come to the start of the last week of the
Listen.